So constraint number 3 is the same. Constraints 2, 3, and 4 are kind of the same. They just get more and more complicated as the investment goes into the months, the second month, the third month, and the fourth month. So in the third month, think about it. In the third month, what money do you have available to invest in G3, C3, or L3? Well, it's going to be, should I jump around? Well, let me jump around a little bit. But in the third month, the first amount of money that you're going to have available to you is whatever you invested in the second month in the locally invested funds, which is L2. So whatever you invested in the second month times 1.0075, because you're going to earn return for a month, that is going to be available to you right here, that amount, right? The locally invested funds times the return, that is available to you. That's available to you every month. Now, the government bonds, after 2 months, they mature, right? Because you buy them in the first month, you hold them for 2 months, and then they mature. When a bond matures, you get back the money that you invested in it, plus whatever the return is. That's a very, very simple way of looking at a bond, but it's kind of like that. So you're going to get 1.02, which means you're going to get the money that you invested in the government bond. So if you invested 1,000, you're going to get 1,000 again, plus the return. In this case is 2%. So 1.02 times the amount that you invested in government bonds on the first month, plus that leftover from the locally invested funds, that's what is going to be available to you on the third month. You rearrange the terms. Oh, by the way, so what about the construction loans? Well, the construction loans, those go for 3 months. So if you invested anything in C1, which is the construction loan, that money is not going to be available to you for 3 months. So you're going to have to wait until the fourth month, because that money is locked in for the first month, the second month, and the third month. So you can't touch that money yet. You rearrange it and you get the equation in this form. So now, on the fourth month, right? The fourth month, what is available to you to invest in the fourth month, which is going to be G4, Z4, and L4, these three, is going to be equal to, all right, the construction loans, because they have now matured, right? Because they were 3 months. So after 3 months, you get your money back, which is going to be 1 times C1 plus 0.06 times the amount that you invested. So you can put that together and say it's just 1.06 multiplied by the amount that you invested. That's going to give you the money that you get back from the construction loans right there. To that, you're going to add anything you invested in the second month in bonds, because if you invested something in the second month in bonds, those run for 2 months. So they will be locked in the second month and the third month, but in the fourth month, they will be once again available. So 1.02 times G2. Then, of course, you have whatever locally invested funds you invested in the previous month. Those are available to you, multiplied by their return. That's how much money you have in the fourth month. That is the toughest part. That's the toughest part to understand, but it's very mechanical, okay? You just learn that structure, and then no matter what kind of problem that, they throw at you, it's kind of mechanical. You follow the same structure. So on the fifth month, you need to have $10 million available at the start of the fifth month. So that's going to be 1.06, which is a return on your corporate, on your construction loans, plus 1.02 times what you invested in government bonds on the third month. And remember that, why am I saying the second month and the third month? Because of the lock-in period. If you invested anything, if you invested any of your money in government bonds in the third month, that money will be available in the fifth month, right? Because it's going to run for 2 months, the third month and the fourth month, and then it'll be available in the fifth month. For construction loans, you will have that money available only if you invested in construction loans in the second month. Why? Because they go for 3 months. So they will be locked in the second month, the third month, and the fourth month. Okay? Plus, whatever you get in those locally invested funds, that has to be at least $10 million. Then we have these are very simple, right? No more than $8 million in government bonds at any time. So for those 4 periods, for the 4 months, right? G1 cannot be more than 8 million. G1, G2, that's basically in the second month, cannot be more than 8 million. In the third month would be G2 plus G3, cannot be more than 8 million. And finally, G3 plus G4 cannot be more than 8 million. And if you're wondering how come we don't have G1 on this one here? Well, because G1 by the third month is already gone. G1 goes for 2 years, so it will be gone by the third year. So in the third month, in the third month, you only worry about what you invested in government bonds. When it comes to government bonds, you only care about what you invested in the second and in the third, so forth. And then the same thing down here for the corporate loans, but these are 3 years, not 2 years. So that's why you have to think that what you invest in construction loans in the first month is going to stick around until the third month, but they'll be wiped out on the fourth month because they won't be available anymore. Okay, so finally, you put it all together. We have our equation from up here. Okay, you check your Z, looks good. Then you enter all of this data down here, and of course you see how complicated it starts to get, right? You have your left-hand sides, these are your right-hand sides. I want to make sure that the data, okay, looks good, equal, okay. Then your sum products, I'm just going to check the top, looks good, check the bottom, looks good, okay. So now I'm going to go to solver. Okay, so set the objective, which is Z right there, to maximum, because I want to maximize the amount of money that I get back, by changing these cells. Yeah, 37 from C to N. Yep, and then these are my my constraints. Okay. Okay, just eyeballing them. Okay, make it not negative, simplex LP. Ooh. Oh, no. Ah. I wiped out the edge. Let me put that back on. Yeah. Solve. There you go. So that is your answer. So what this is telling us is how much you have to invest out of the 20 million. How much we can make we can make those dollar signs. How much you're going to invest in each of them, in each of the bonds, in each of the different investments, in each month, to gain a return, a total return of $1.4 million. Understanding that you need to have 10 million at the end of the fifth month, which is it combines any earnings plus any money that you have locked in the bonds and so forth. Okay, so that's the problem.